Hey everyone, it's Dale here and welcome to this Trade of the Week video. Today I want to show you two best trades of the week, if you will. Well, I wouldn't call them the best trades, but they were quite interesting. So, they were based on my prediction, which I post every day in the members area. And they were both on the ES. As you can see on this table right here, that's where I publish my levels. There weren't too many in this recent update, but there were two levels on the ES. There was long at 65.18 and short at 65.80. So those are the two levels that played out and that I want to talk about. Okay, so let me go to the chart, and this is a NinjaTrader 8 platform with my custom-made volume profile and VWAP indicators, and you are looking at a 30-minute chart of the ES. Now let me talk about the reasoning behind the trade entry behind both those levels. Okay, so first let's talk about the long here. The long is represented here by this green line. That's the long level, and it is based on a heavy volume zone which was formed in this area right before this massive buying on the ES. This was, by the way, caused by unexpected news. And I expected that there would be a bounce from this heavy volume zone, because this heavy volume zone represents a strong place where buyers were active before this move. Okay, so the beginning of that heavy volume zone is essentially this long level. Also, there was another thing why I thought that this would work as a strong support, and the thing is that this was beginning of a massive fair value gap. This was the fair value gap, a huge one caused by the news. And as you guys probably know, I like to trade from the beginning of the fair value gap. In a long trade scenario, it is here. This is the beginning of the fair value gap, and it nicely aligned with the heavy volume zone here. So that's why I thought that this could work as a support, which, as you can see, did. So yeah, that was the long trade entry. Now, let me talk about the short trade entry and the reasoning behind that short, which I had here. I'll just zoom in a bit so you can see it better. Now, this short, which I had here, this was the short level, was based on this heavy volume zone. This heavy volume zone represented sellers who were active in here before they pushed the price lower. Again, we had nice little fair value gap in here, which also added strength to the level. And also, what I especially liked about this one was a combo of the first deviation of the weekly VWAP right here. So as you can see, basically three setups aligned here. Beginning of a heavy volume zone, beginning of the fair value gap, and also the first deviation of the weekly VWAP. Everything aligned in here, telling me that it should work as a strong resistance. So those were the reasons for the trade entries. Now let me talk about how the trade played out, because yeah, as you can see, it was quite wild. Actually, what I want to do here is I'll switch over or show you a 1 minute chart of how this played out, because it's not that easily visible on the 30-minute chart. So this is a 1 minute chart. What happened here is that the price hit the support, immediately went long, then hit that resistance and immediately went short. So I actually had a profit from the long, and a couple of minutes later, profit from the short. This was caused by unexpected macro news. It was news regarding ceasefire on the east, so it wasn't really scheduled as standard news on Forex Factory, and I didn't know that this news would come up. So I just had a limit orders there because it was already evening here and I wasn't around the computer, and then I just saw that I got two profits. So yeah, it was quite crazy. I didn't really expect this, and yeah, but that's how it sometimes is. The way I had those trades set up was that for the long trade, let me show you again how the volumes are distributed here. Move the profile a bit to the left like this. So for that long, this one, my stop loss was in here. The reason was that it was behind the heavy volume zone, this one, and also below this little swing point. Okay, so this is how I usually place my stop loss. So that was the stop for this long level. Regarding the stop for the short, this was the short. Then again, it followed the same principle. The stop always needs to be behind heavy volume zone. In this case, I placed it in here because it was behind the heavy volume zone, also at top of this candle. Okay, so this was the stop for the short trade. And regarding the take profit, what I usually do is I usually place my take profit before a heavy volume zone, before a barrier, in other words. In this case, I wasn't around the computer, I just set the take profit to risk reward 1. So for that long trade, my take profit was somewhere in here. And for that short trade, my take profit was somewhere in here. Okay. As I was saying, I wasn't around the computer. If I was, I would place the take profit in a heavy volume zone. So possibly the outcome would be better. But maybe when I saw that there was some kind of news, I would just cancel the short. If I managed to do that, probably not, because it was like 1 minute, boom, boom, and everything was over. But anyways, the take profit wasn't like a standard take profit for me because I wasn't around, so I just had it, so I was trading with risk reward 1. That's how I do it when I'm not around the computer or when I'm setting limit orders and I know that it's possible that the trade will play out and I won't be around to manage it. Okay, so this is how it went. I would say maybe it was a bit of luck. I'm reading all around the internet that this week's been rather tough on traders because of the news and because of Trump tweeting and all those unexpected things happening and having direct and quick impact to the markets. For me, this week has been rather good because, my levels actually held, and despite the macro news, the price reacted to my levels. I'm not saying that my levels are better than others, but, this week it was like this. So, yeah, so anyways, I hope you guys liked the commentary. I hope you guys like the volume profile approach that I'm trying to teach you. If you want complete A to Z video course and education on how to trade with volume profile, also my custom-made indicators of volume profile for various trading platforms, you want to head over to my website. It is at traderdale.com. And if you click this button, which says trading course and tools, then it'll take you to this page, and in here you can browse my trading education and custom-made indicators. So thanks for watching the video, and I'll be looking forward to seeing you next time. Until then, happy trading.